Right. So we were studying about the biotechnology in application, and so far we are done till uh, that is till ADA we have finished, and even we are studying about the transgenic animals. Introduction I already given. Transgenic animals are those animals which are actually uh, in their genetic makeup some type of change has been done. Some foreign gene have been inserted so that their morphology changes. That is, whenever genetic makeup is changed, that is the genotype is changed, naturally the phenotype will also change. Okay. So if it is put in the right place, that is if there the ori is there connected to it. So that phenotype is changed. Now we are making several attempts where the organism, the animals and the plants, their genetic makeup is changed in order to get the different type of products. But that is not only requirement. We are not only looking for the products. There are several other applications where for which we require transgenic organisms or genetically modified organisms. GMO कह दो चाहे transgenic कह दो, बात एक ही है. That is genetic makeup is being changed. So transgenic animals are used for several purposes, and one of the most vital use is in nowadays, which is now it is made almost public. Like previously people were not aware about the vaccination so much, but now we know that when the deadly disease the corona is there in air, so we know that we know that, or we all are looking for vaccine patiently. हम सोच रहे हैं बस अब आए अब आए अब आए. Now why generally people ask, sir, vaccine बनने में इतना टाइम क्यों लग रहा है? To make vaccine there are so many type of things. Yes, sir. So transgenic animals are used for various purposes. Let us see. Let us share the book. On sharing the book. Okay, so there are some of the reasons for which we are making the transgenic animals. We'll shall study them one by one. Very first thing, of course, I have taught in the previous class also, but yet we'll just revise it. That is for normal physiology and development. We want to know how a particular gene or how a particular sets of enzyme or hormone works. So what we'll do, that human's gene will be taken and it will be inserted into either on the rat or on a monkey or any other organ which is having similar morphology than the our morphology. It's similar way of working as we are working, and in that humans a particular gene will be added, and when this gene is added it will produce a certain type of enzyme or a hormone or any other substance which will be carrying out those type of changes. And we would like to know that what happens, what all substances are produced, what substance, like suppose a defective gene is there, so what functions actually hampered because of that. So these all things we cannot conduct on human being, because we know that human beings are not meant for experimentation. Human beings are not meant for experiment. So what we can do is we can make an organism transgenic and then we can study in them. Okay, so that is the only way available to us. So it is written, transgenic animals be specifically designed to allow the study of how genes are regulated or how they are affect the normal functioning of the body. Suppose the defective gene is there, then what happens? When the normal gene is there, how it works, what type of new enzymes are formed, how those enzymes or how those hormones are actually functioning, etc. Study of complex factors involved in the growth, such as insulin-like growth factor, and introduction of the genes from other species that alter the formation of this factor, and study of biological effect that result. Okay, so all these, that is, we want to know that what all changes are taking place because of those genes, what all type of enzyme, hormones or other type of regulators are formed and how they functions. Okay, and if there is any defective gene, how it will affect. So that all things we can study by introducing a foreign gene in an organism. That particular organism may not be showing those type of features. Yet, since the foreign gene is there, now it has to show. Second, a study of disease. There are a number of diseases which are caused in us. Okay? They may be genetic results. There are diseases like if you want to know that study of any disease like Alzheimer's disease, you want to know now how it functions. Okay? What happens in that? So all those things, now you cannot put a particular defective gene in a human being and see that what is happening. Okay, and a person is already suffering from Alzheimer's disease. Now you don't know that how to rectify it. So in between that, you have to make that what all changes are actually taking place because of that. So for that, we have to put a defective gene in them. So many transgenic animals are designed to increase our understanding how gene contribute to development of a disease. Okay, these are specifically made to serve the model for human disease. ठीक है, और क्या कर सकते हैं हम, we want to know that that particular organism, कोई भी organism है उसके अंदर will give this disease and then will give the different type of medicines और उसका असर देखेंगे, how the treatment can be done. ठीक है, तो these are specifically made to serve as a model for human disease, so that the investigation of new treatment of the disease is made possible. Today, transgenic models exist for many human diseases such as cancer, cystic fibrosis, rheumatoid arthritis, and Alzheimer's disease. These all are genetic one. Okay, तो इनके बारे में हम पता करेंगे. तीसरा है to get the biological product. There are several enzymes, several hormones, several boosters, several substances are there which are required for us. ठीक है, और we cannot produce them in the industry. I said that biological substances you cannot produce in the industry. उसके लिए you have to have some organism. ठीक है, तो वो यहाँ पे बना रहे. देखिए, medicine required to treat certain human diseases can contain biological products such as that can be expensive to make. पहली बात तो बनेंगी नहीं. Anyway, आप क्या कर सकते हैं, you can bring some of the molecule and from then you can क्या कहते हैं change derive कर सकते हो उससे. तो the derivatives of some other molecules can be done, but then also it will become very expensive. Whereas there are many microorganisms which are free to culture. आप उसको बिना किसी मेहनत के कल्चर कर सकते हैं. If a particular gene is added in them, they will start making product of your interest, as we have studied in case of insulin. Okay, the same way other molecules can also be made. Like transgenic animals that produce useful biological product can be created by introduction of foreign portion of a DNA. Okay, which code for a particular product such as human protein alpha 1 tryptophan. Okay, antitrypsin, sorry. Okay. So alpha 1 antitrypsin used in emphysema for the treatment of emphysema. Similarly, attempt has been made for the treatment of phenylketonuria, that is PKU disease, that is again a genetic disease, cystic fibrosis and all. In 1997, याद रखिए आप, transgenic cow Rosie has been produced human protein enriched milk. 1 liter के अंदर 2.4 gram of such protein used to be found. And these protein are easy to be digested. We cannot, our children, that is the infant, those who are fed on the cow's milk because the mother is not able to produce enough of milk or secrete enough of milk. In that case, the children are often fed with the cow's milk. Cow's milk contains certain type of protein which are indigestible by us, or we are not producing those type of enzymes which can digest cow's protein, cow milk protein. So a special type of gene has been introduced, a gene segment is introduced into this cow Rosie, and she started producing milk in which 2.4 gram per liter of human protein enriched milk was there. The milk contained human alpha lactalbumin, which was nutritionally more balanced product and babies than for human babies than the cow's milk. तो ये एक फायदा हो गया इससे. Now the next is vaccine safety. Now you want to know that whether a particular vaccine which we have prepared, how it will work, whether it will cause any side effect. ठीक है, अब वही बात मैं कर रहा था when we are talking about the corona vaccine. इस सर वैक्सीन बनने में टाइम क्यों लग रहा है? तो there are number of factors. हमने पूछा कई सारी चीजें चाहिए. We must have to have knowledge of antigen, then antibody production, ability to produce antibodies or not. ठीक है, how to boost that and all. तो वो कई सारे steps हैं. तो उन सबसे पहले the very first thing we must know that when the vaccine is made and it is added into human being, will it cause any type of other problem? क्या वो एलर्जिक प्रॉब्लम कॉज कर सकता है या उसके कोई साइड इफेक्ट हो सकता है, और बिकॉज ऑफ द इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ दैट जीन will it produce any harmful gene, harmful segment, harmful protein or harmful substance. So all those things we want to know. तो हम पहले क्या करेंगे, we'll make an animal, maybe rat, maybe guinea pig or maybe monkeys or whatever, and we'll make those organisms sick. with that particular disease, and then these vaccines are given onto them. Now imagine a monkey will not suffer from coronavirus, so we had to make it suffering from coronavirus. So हमको उसके जीन में makeup में change करना पड़ेगा, so that he'll start suffering from that disease, and then we'll give the vaccine and we'll study how far it is able to cure and are there any side effects. All the studies have been first conducted, and then the study will be conducted on the human samples. Okay, and when it is found perfectly all right, then only it is been introduced, then only it will be recommended to be given to the human being. So you might have seen this corona vaccine, which is in the progress in so many different parts of the world, in so many laboratories, and they are giving their result up to 94%, 90%, 95% and all. So that all initially their test has been all conducted on some of the transgenic animals. So transgenic mice are being developed in use of for the use of testing of safety of vaccine before they are used in human. You straight away you cannot use any vaccine on human. Suppose it shows some drastic effect, the person may die, or he or she may suffer from such problem where the recovery will be nearly impossible. So first those tests have been done on some of the animals. So since the animals will not be suffering from that disease, you have to make them transgenic so that they will suffer from that disease, and then you can test for this vaccine. And the last is chemical safety. There are so many products which we are using today, so many type of products. You see nowadays we say that the plastic is not safe for human being. In 3-4 days back it had come in the paper that even those substances which we are using in the cars for gluing the various type of parts of the cars inside the cabin, they are also releasing some substances which may cause cancer. How we come to know? How we come to know? How these researches have been done? So all these researches are first done on the animals, and then that is being tested whether there will be any ill effect of those type of chemicals, some medicines, some other type of things, some type of ointments, creams, and other type of cosmetic products. Now, of course, it is not allowed for the cosmetic product to be tested on animals, but the rules are not available for all throughout the world with a similar rule. So there are some countries where such rules are not there. There they will be tested. You know, business people can go to any extent. Anyway, that is not a part of our topic here. So we just want to know whether the thing which we are using is having any toxic or ill effect. Okay, so that can be tested first on animals, and for that the animal has to be made suitable to the for the human gene. Okay, so this is not the toxicity, that is safety testing. The product is same as it is used for testing toxicity of drug. Transgenic animals are made to carry a gene which make them more sensitive to the toxic substances. They will be just made similar to that of the human. Now human skin is entirely different from all other organism skin. We got the softest and the mildest skin. No other animal has got such thin and soft skin. So those products or those type of things which we are using on the human being will be should be very soft, and it should be like it should have entirely different type of chemistry than the other that is the substances which we are using on other animals. So यहाँ पे we have to make the skin or the body or the muscles or the parts of the animals similar to that of the human, for that, so that the test of the chemical can be done, and for that we have to use the human gene. Okay, so they can be exposed to the toxic substances and then effect can be studied. Toxicity testing in such animal will allow to obtain the results in less time. Okay, less time and safe. You can't do experiments on human being. Okay, so these were the transgenic animal. Now we are come to the last three topics, that is the ethical issue. Ethical means human related. That is, what will happen if if the biotechnology is going on used like this only as we are using it today? Will it be safe? So there are several issues which can be caused. First of all, as long as scientists are doing it with a good intention, it is okay. But at the same time, some of the terrorists can use the same techniques for some bad effect. वो कुछ mal intention लेकर के कर सकता है, ठीक है. He or she can produce some such harmful organism which is difficult to control, and then the entire scenario may be different. ठीक है. अभी ह्यूमन में कोई ऐसा पॉइजन नहीं है, कोई ऐसा कुछ बना दे so that they can also start producing poisons or some other type of things. ठीक है, पहली बात. दूसरी बात, when we are conducting an experiment, suppose this is human gene, human DNA, ठीक है. Now from here to here we have added a foreign DNA. ये हमने एक फॉरेन डीएनए ऐड करा in order to get a desired product. ठीक है. We are thinking only this much of segment or this much of segment will be express a particular thing. तो हम ये सोच रहे हैं कि यही एक्सप्रेस होगा. But it may also be possible that this portion from here to here may also be expressed mal expression. कुछ नया प्रोडक्ट बन जाए, and that product may be very harmful, and by the time we'll realize it has been already in thousands and thousands. तो आपने क्या किया, एक बैक्टीरिया है, बैक्टीरिया के यहाँ से यहाँ तक का क्रोमोसोम, उसमें यहाँ से यहाँ तक का ह्यूमन का जीन आपने ऐड किया, and to get a desired product is produced between this. Since the recognizing sequence were available at this point, तो आपने यहाँ से यहाँ तक काटा. ये तो कोई काम नहीं आ रहा, ये तो कोई काम नहीं आ रहा. आप ये सोच रहे थे यहाँ से यहाँ तक ये एक्सप्रेस होगा और एक्सप्रेस होके एक प्रोडक्ट बनाएगा. But due to some reason, this segment and that segment start become expressing, and that started expressing something, some mal expression, जो आपके काम का नहीं है, or rather no such function is already existing in the world. And by the time we realize, since it was in the bacteria, and bacteria are already produced and spread all over the world, crores and crores, अब आप उसको कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकते. And that is why there is a need of a regulatory agency which will regulate, which will give क्या कहते हैं permission whether you can go ahead with the experiment or not. And all the experiments will be properly monitored. There all the good and bad effect will be properly monitored and recorded. So the government of India has made an organization that is called Genetic Engineering Approval Committee. So whenever anybody is going ahead with the biotechnological experiments, so you will have to make a full report that what are the aim, what will be done, how it will be done, on which organism it will be done, what are the facilities available, where the testing will be done, how long the testing will be done, how long the side effects will be studied, and what you will do with those transgenic organisms after the experiments have been done. All the things you will have to make this project and you have to submit, and then the regulatory agency will also counter study it, and if they find anything objectionable, they will not give you permission, or they may ask you to make change in the thing, and then their authority will come regularly to check how the program is going on, so that there shouldn't be anything wrong. Okay, so ये लिखा है, therefore Indian government has set up an organization such as GAC, Genetic Engineering Approval Committee, which make decision on regarding the viability of the GM research and the safety introducing GM organisms in the public service. नहीं तो क्या होगा, anybody can do any type of experiment and come up with the different type of products, whether they are required or they are not required, or sometimes some very harmful effect can be produced, and by the time we will realize them, फिर आपके पास उसका कोई कंट्रोल नहीं रहेगा. दबी जबान में तो लोग बात ये भी करते हैं कि कोरोना भी ऐसे ही निकलता है, because somebody were doing some experiments in the China and some such varieties come now which is impossible for us to control. Okay, now two more topics are there, that is the क्या कहते हैं piracy, biopiracy and क्या कहते हैं the patents. तो एक यहाँ पे दिया है, यहाँ से यहाँ तक patent. Okay, there are several companies in the world over. They are studying the different genes and their effects, and then these genes have been cut and added into some other organisms and getting the different type of product. हमारे देश में बासमती की पता नहीं 20,000 नहीं 2 लाख वेराइटीज बनती है. There are 2 lakh varieties of basmati in the basmati rice in the India alone. Now recently what happened, one of the American company, they have taken the basmati genes, flavor and fragrance gene, and that has been added into semi-dwarf variety of their existing rice variety, and they have developed a new variety of basmati and got patent for that. Anybody can get patent for that. ठीक है, 1997 में उसने उसके लिए पेटेंट लिया, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, तुम अपना माल बेचो, हमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. बट he took the patent that no one else can sell basmati because basmati's patent we got. Then the government of India come into action. They said, how can it be? We are using and growing basmati from so many thousands of years, and we got so many documented records. As like 27 documented records are there in the different textbooks and texts and folklores and poems and songs and all. So we got hundreds of such lakhs of such variety, and we are using it from the so many years. And achanak se all of a sudden one fine day, an American company then comes up and says that we got the copyright for or trademark for the use of patent for the use of basmati. Nobody else will be able to do it. So India and Pakistan, in India itself there are so many places, they all got in panic state, and ultimately the government of India fought a case in the US what we call courts, and then they got the license cancelled, their patent cancelled. Similar patents have been also taken for the various other products. Okay, we know that it is here written. Several attempts have been also been made to patent use products and processes from the Indian traditional herbal medicines like turmeric, neem, and it is if we are not vigilant and do immediately counter these patent application, then other countries, individuals may encash our rich legacy, which may not be able to, we will not be able to do anything. Okay? So that will be, we have to be very vigilant. We have to see that what is coming, what all patents are granted. And then if anything is going against the will of our country, against the good of our country, then we have to immediately counteract. Otherwise, the patent will be given and we ourselves will be not allowed to use these type of things. Like we know that the ginger and the turmeric and the what you call the black pepper and dalchini and all so many different type of products we are using as medicines and for other type of things from hundreds of years. But all of a sudden, if some other country comes up with some of the patent, and they may not allow, or they may stop our right to produce those things, so it will be hilarious. See, biopiracy, the term used for the use of resources, bioresources by the multinational companies and other organizations without proper authentic authorization from these countries. We know that many industrialized nations are rich and financially, but poor in biodiversity and traditional knowledge. They got plenty of money, they got all techniques, but they do not have knowledge, they do not have traditional knowledge, or they do not have biodiversity. Probably they may not be growing a particular type of thing which is used in making those type of substances or products. Okay, so वो क्या कर रहे हैं? They are taking knowledge from us and they are listening and manipulating and making their product and then getting patent and not letting us to do that. Okay, so traditional knowledge related to bioresource can be exploited to develop modern application, can also be used to save time, effort and expenditure during the commercialization. And there has been growing realization of injustice in inadequate compensation. वो कोई compensation दे भी नहीं रहे, अगर दे रहे हैं तो वो नाम मात्र का दे रहे होंगे. Benefit sharing between the developing and developed country. Therefore, some of the nations are some nations are developing laws to prevent such unauthorized exploitation and of their bioresources and traditional knowledge. ठीक है? Now Africans knows for any type of things they know the variety of herbal medicines, okay, herbal care, cure. तो वो उनको मालूम है सांप ने काट लिया तो कौन सा पत्ता तोड़ करके इमीडिएटली वहां पे बांधना सर. नाउ दीज थिंग्स आर नॉट नोन टू अमेरिकans, these things are not known to the Europeans because ना तो वहाँ पे इतने टाइप के हर्ब्स होते हैं, neither they ever exposed to those type of things. ठीक है? The legacy of Africa is much older than these European countries. ठीक है? तो उनसे उनके पास वो नॉलेज है. नाउ some of the American companies come to know कि ऐसा ऐसा होता है, they can come up with some ointment, some of the paste, some of cream and all, and they start selling by their own names. तो ये होता रहता है. ठीक है? तो इसके लिए हमको जरूरी होना पड़ेगा, एक्टिव होना पड़ेगा. So what is written that the Indian government has recently cleared second amendment of Indian patent bill to take such issues into consideration. Okay, so ये है आपका चैप्टर कंप्लीट हुआ. क्वेश्चन आंसर यू ट्राई टू फिनिश योर ओन. नाउ मैं नहीं कराऊंगा, काफी लेट हो गया. अच्छा, now tomorrow I will not take class, so I'll take the test of chapter 10. चैप्टर 10 का टेस्ट का लिंक मैं यहाँ डालूंगा. कोई भी बच्चा, एनी चाइल्ड फ्रॉम एनी स्कूल और फ्रॉम आवर स्कूल, whoever want to give, they can give. Okay, and the test will be there for some 40-45 questions. आधे घंटे में आप भी जल्दी कर सकते हैं, पढ़े लिखे होंगे तो जल्दी से कर लेंगे, और नहीं तो आप 40 मिनट में 50 मिनट में कर लीजिए. टाइम इज नॉट ए बार. यू कैन अटेम्प्ट इट इन एनी पार्ट ऑफ द डे, मॉर्निंग, आफ्टरनून, नाइट, कभी भी कर सकते हैं. But that will be my tomorrow's class. Tomorrow I will not take class because I have to attend a seminar from CBSE. Only other classes will be there. Okay? So you decide when you want to take test, morning, afternoon, evening, night. But कल का मेरा शेयर वही रहेगा टीचिंग का. That's all children. Chapter 10 and Google test. Thank you. ठीक है बच्चे.